Okay, today was set up for us to be in the stadium, get a game-like situation for our guys. Had a really good scrimmage. Got in close to 50 plays. I think we were just a little short of that when the rain hit. We wanted to get ones and twos and threes. Yesterday we got in about 20, 22, 23 plays. So, we've gotten the kind of work I needed, necessary, relative to scrimmaging and taking guys down. No injuries. So, that's the first thing, obviously, as a head coach. You want to make sure that nobody gets injured and you're losing guys when you get in competitive situations like that. So, that's the real good news. Competitive battles at a lot of positions. I think I alluded to it the other day. I wanted to see Cam Wire out at right tackle. We moved Bradford in at guard. We moved Frazier over to left to get that flavor as well. Like some of the things that Bradford does at guard, he's big physical on double teams. So, that's still an area that, we'll continue to look at. But we like 7 or 8 guys there on the offensive line that are doing really well. Dellinger had 2 really good days snapping the ball. So you guys didn't hear me yelling and screaming at him today. So that's a really good sign. That's the offensive line. The running back, I was really pleased with Noah Kane today, running the ball with some physicality. And again, I think I alluded to this the last time we spoke, is that, he hadn't played a lot of football. And it's kind of coming back to him. And he's a smart kid. He's 224 pounds. He's strong. And he ran with that physicality that we were looking for today. So that was a bright spot for us. Receivers all can make plays. Second play of scrimmage, Kayshawn hit a screen and made 2 or 3 people miss. We saw his explosiveness and how difficult he is to tackle today. Just a lot of playmakers. Neighbors made some nice plays. Just a lot of depth. The tight ends, both Taylors made plays. So a lot of good things happening on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, that front is very difficult to move. They show their physicality. We look. We go inside. We have popsicles and water, and then we go out and play defense. It's hard to get a good barometer on your defense when you do things like that. So maybe you lose a little bit of your edge defensively. I'm not worried about that at all. Our defense is going to be just fine. The pieces are in place. I like the guys that we have up front. The back end has played really well. So all in all, I'm just kind of giving you an overview of where we are going into a couple of days off. Tomorrow is a recovery day. Monday, I don't like to practice because it's the first day of school, so we will not practice on Monday. We'll just have meetings, and then we'll get back to work on Tuesday. So the guys got a little bit of a respite here to kind of get organized, and we'll go back at it. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
Ryan, just at quarterback, are you starting to see any separation? And what's going to be the kind of plan heading into the next final week of camp and then game week?
Yeah, I think, it's pretty clear that it's Nussmeier and it's Daniels, and they just have more experience, than Walker Howard. Walker's done a great job, but I think, his situation now would be an emergency situation, and, can we redshirt him? Right, that's kind of where we're at right now. So it's a 2-man race, and it's extremely competitive. Jalen does some really good things. Obviously his ability to get the ball out of his hands quickly. It's not just a guy that runs. He threw the ball at a 65% completion ratio last year. Pushed the ball down the field very well today. Nuss made some really good plays as well. Unblocked edge player coming at him, gets the ball out of his hands. So this is going to be, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they both get the opportunity to play it sometime this year, but we're going to have to name a starter, and that's going to happen here pretty quickly.
Hey, Coach, here in the back. Mason Taylor, you mentioned him at tight end, but as
Yeah.
a true freshman, and he looked like he's very fluid, moves well. I mean, is he trending towards playing right away and contributing right away?
Yes, he's going to play right away, and yeah, I think all the adjectives that you use. I mean, he's fluid, he's smart, he understands the offense very well. Kind of the nuances of the position come to him easily, and because of that, look, he's 247 pounds too, and he moves really well. The game comes to him, quite easily. I think the bloodlines there are pretty good. So, yeah, he's gonna play a lot for us, and you know, him and the two Taylors. Jack will give us what he can give us as well, and I feel so much better about that position now than I did, probably after the spring.
Hey, Coach. I was just sort of curious about how's the running back room sort of shaping up. We're I think last practice, not was the last full practice we saw, was a lot of Marnie Goodwin and Noah Kane with the first team. So how's that sort of room shaping up at this point?
Yeah, as I mentioned, you guys know the situation with John Emery. I really can't get into the specifics of that because of the Buckley Amendment, but he's certainly a guy that's going to be part of what we do this year. Then Noah Kane, as I mentioned, was really impressed with him today. Amani is a guy that we're going to count on. Williams has been probably as consistent as any back that we've had. And Nick Demas has done a really nice job. So, Leonard Fournette is not in that backfield. I mean, so, we don't have like that marquee guy, if you will, but all of them, complement each other very well. And I think we'll be very effective at that position. And I think each one of them can contribute in a manner that will allow us to be successful at the position.
Yeah, Coach, just the linebacker unit. I mean, you guys are rotating a lot of guys in there right now. Just how solid do you feel about being able to play not just two guys, but a multitude of players to start the season?
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of guys moving in and out of there for sure. I've already mentioned, the freshman Harold Perkins, but you see Greg Penn, Mike Jones, of course, Kobe. He's going to, he's going to play quite a bit for us as well. I think that's going to be a group of guys that you probably see 4 or 5 guys rotating in at that position, and we feel good about that. I think they need to. Mike is going to be back for us. Micah Baskerville, he's a smart player for us. He's a veteran player. Mike is going to play a real good role. We've really liked his leadership. So, there's 5 guys right there. You probably go 5 or 6 deep at the linebacker position. That's a pretty good situation.
Brian, we talked about defensive line a lot, and you feel comfortable. You seem like you feel comfortable with them. What have they done to make you get that comfort, and also is it about what you expected or better than you expected?
Well, we've got 3 guys that I think are elite players: Mason Smith, Jay Roy, and Ali Gay. They're elite players. Then you add B.J. Ojolari, who can do multiple things for you. He can put his hand down. He can drop. So when you have a front that has 4 elite players, that's where it starts to allow you to do a lot of things up front and be creative. So Matt now has a great advantage because he can move those guys around and do a lot with them. So I just think to have 4 really good players like that, and then you've got a Makai Wingo who's been really good, and some really complementary pieces. We haven't talked a lot about Desmond Little. He's done a really nice job for us. Jacoby Gilroy's been really good, real solid for us. So depth is probably the other thing that makes you feel good about not only 4 elite players, but having some depth there as well.
Hey, Coach Dylan Sitters, 24/7 Sports. How are you feeling about the defensive back room right now? Because that was a position with a lot of questions.
Yeah, I feel so much better about it. I mean, Kobe Dickerson obviously changed that kind of immediately for us, and then obviously getting Jarrett Bernard Converse back, after his injury in the spring. So you start there, and then obviously we've got Mackay, as a guy now that's a staple in our program. Having Seven Banks with the experience, so now you got four corners there, and then the two freshmen have been really good, Robinson and Welch. So now, two really good freshman corners. Now you're talking about six corners that are going out there and competing where we're scratching to put two out there. So you feel really good about where you are at the cornerback position. You know, Sage and Brooks and Ward and Burns. Now you've got some depth there. So, Langlois is back from his hamstring. There's 11 guys right there that I've just thrown at you, and all of them are really good football players. So that's some pretty good depth to have.
When you look at Jaden and maybe his strengths, or where does it show through that he has started 3 seasons of college football already?
I would say probably management of the offense in terms of getting people lined up, getting the offense running smoothly, efficiently, and I think the guys feel a sense of calm when he's out there because he's done it before. He's getting guys lined up. There's a authority. I mean, the way he talks to the guys out there. We call it clap, which is clear, loud, as in order, and then there's a pause. The acronym clap. It's a military term. When they're asked for their leaders to talk, they use the acronym clap, and he's clear. He's loud. He talks like it's in order, and then there's always a pause so you can hear it. And I think that helps a lot because people know he's played, and when he's out there, guys really tune into him, and I think that's a comfort level.
All right, Coach, you have time for one final question?
With John Emery specifically, I know you said you can't get into the specifics of that, but is he looking at having to miss game time again because of the same issue?
Well, there's obviously things that I can't talk about relatively. He is in good standing in football, so everything that he's done a great job with us in football.
So he's on track to still be available for the Florida State game?
Everything that he's done for us has been outstanding in football. Anything else that arises would not be, anything that I can comment on because of privacy rights. So I think you guys can put the rest together.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.